Hi everyone, my name is Liana and welcome to my channel once again. I would like you and invite you today to share a couple of thoughts with me about the stories that we tell, specifically the stories we tell ourselves. Now, if you are on your own journey to create your dream life, whatever that may be to you and whatever it may look like, it would benefit you to start telling a story that resembles that life and that resembles that experience or that existence for you. So often we find ourselves in a position, or in a state rather, in which we keep repeating the stories from the past. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll notice or you'll hear that I often speak about, if you want to create your tomorrow, then you cannot necessarily draw from the past. You cannot, if you draw from the past, it has to be the good experiences, because the moment you take from the past all those stories, those horrible ones, the ones that you experienced as defeating or hurtful or painful or an injustice of any kind, and you keep telling those stories, then that is what your tomorrow looks like, right? So consider for the next couple of weeks, as you speak not only to others but more specifically to yourself, consider the stories that you are telling yourself. Consider what it is that you are sharing on a vibrational level with the rest of creation, and what is creation returning for you. The quickest, best way to find out is look around you, look at your life, and if you're not living your dream life, then perhaps you want to rethink the stories that you are repeating on a daily basis. So say for example, you have a heartbreaking story. We never take away from a heartbreaking story, but we don't need to remind ourselves of that story every single day, because the undercurrent of that particular story is what will show up in your life. And by undercurrent, I mean the vibration. I mean, if that is filled with anguish and hurt and pain, then we create more and more and more of that. So focus a little bit on what it is that you truly desire. How would you like to feel every day? And find a story that matches that feeling and start telling yourself that particular story. Focus on the idea of that particular story and how you can do tiny, teeny little things every day to get yourself to that story, to the next page, to a more exciting story perhaps than the one that you are living. I'm reminded of a story I heard many years ago of a daughter who sat in the kitchen and watched her mom cook some kind of roast, and mom was chopping off the bone before she put it into the pot. And the little girl asked her, but mommy, why do you do that? Every Christmas you do the same thing, or every Sunday or whatever, you do the same thing. You cut off the bone in order to put it in the pot and make the roast. And she said, well, this is how your granny taught me. And she went to granny when granny came for dinner and said, but gran, why do you cut off the bone? What's the reason behind this? And she smiled and looked at her and said, well, if I didn't cut it off, it wouldn't fit into the pot. So sometimes we tell ourselves stories that we've inherited, but we never question them. And we never question that just maybe I can do it differently. Maybe this doesn't have to be my story or my outcome or my life. And what would happen if I questioned it? Where would the journey go if for one moment I reconsider the story that I have been telling and replace it with a story that more resonates with who I am and resonates with my soul and my being? What would my life look like then? Please go play with the idea this week and the weekend and see if you can identify a brand new wonderful story that you are willing to tell yourself. Have a wonderful day, and if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I'd love to see you again. Bye all.